Did you ever lose someone in the line of duty?
If I ever lost someone in the line of duty, yes.
Unfortunately, it has happened in the past many times. Many times Hatzolah gets called when it's way too late or when the person is actually dead already. So the answer is yes.
I remember the call when I was working on a young man and his wife and kids were standing a few feet away. And we were just watching them say some Tehillim and crying, and we were like telling each other, guys, we can't just let this go. We can't just let this go. But unfortunately, very unfortunately, some calls end very sad, and we do whatever we can. We exhaust all our options, and it doesn't always work.
If we get called even late in the game and there is still a chance of bringing back the person, and even if it's a slight chance, we will still try to do anything and everything, try to bring back the person to life. But unfortunately, we lose some.
How do you handle leaving in the middle of a family important meeting to go on a call?
The answer is that if I had to think about leaving my family, I would never do it. I can't see myself leaving my family in the middle of an event. I can't see myself leaving my family in the car when there's an MVA in the middle of the highway, or there's an MVA in the middle of the main road and they get stuck in the car and I go and run off and now they have to wait for me.
At this point, our families appreciate and understand why we have to leave, but it is very challenging at times to leave in the middle of a simcha or in the middle of a meal with our family. And so it's important that we recognize not just Hatzalah members, which is great, but that we recognize our families and specifically our wives and the role that they play in the life-saving work that we do and allowing us to do it.
They know usually not to ask what just happened, Tati, what just happened, because they know I won't tell them what happened. But the excitement that they have when I go on a call, that gives me the push that I could leave.
Our family tells us, how could you not go? The community needs you. Run.
Saving lives is a priority. No matter what you're doing or where you are, I think that people always understand that saving lives is number one.
As Queens Hatzalah members, we look at our community as our family. And there's nothing we wouldn't do for our family. That's what Hatzalah members do. That's what Hatzalah is. So when our community member, when our friend, when our neighbor calls us, we don't even think twice about it. We leave and we drop whatever we're doing. And then having all the support we have at home, from our family, from our parents, wives, children, when you have all that, you need nothing else.
As a matter of fact, I remember maybe the second date I was going out with my wife. I remember telling her that, I'll compromise in almost everything. Anything you want to need, I can work that out. But I'm a member of Hatzalah, and that's one thing I'm not willing to give up. And if it's a problem, I understand, if you can't, it's not easy, sometimes you don't see your husband. In this past few weeks, when in the height of the epidemic, she didn't see me for days straight. I mean, we were going back and back. So I remember telling her this, and this is one of the things I'm not giving up, and she's, of course, no problem. And she actually pushes me, encourages me, and backs me. I mean, the women of the Hatzalah, they really get more credit than us.
They sacrifice it, and they're a big part of it. Without their support, there's no way we would be able to respond.
How different is the work during the corona?
We have the same mission. It's about saving lives. But the work now is 10 times harder. The call volume is 5 times the amount of calls that we have in a regular day.
It takes a couple of minutes before we can enter a scene. And so if you can imagine someone is in dire distress, whether they're having chest pain, difficulty breathing, or chas v'shalom, they're already in cardiac arrest. And we cannot just run into the scene at this point with gloves on. We need to take precautions. We need to put on gowns and masks and gloves and goggles, lots of equipment, and that takes time to put on.
In regards to running on calls or responding, I was actually much more active during these days, during these weeks. It wasn't different at all. I put my radio louder. I was ready to respond, ready to jump into it, ready to be there.
I would say Crown Heights estimates about 10 calls a day, give or take. During the corona, we were doing upwards of 50 calls a day. So you can do the math. Besides that, we had many, many members out.
Almost every single one of our members who has been taking calls during the COVID-19 pandemic, almost every single one has gotten the virus. In my family, I got the virus. My father got it, my brother, my brother-in-law, and everyone else in our household. This adds to the strain, because aside from the tremendous increase in call volume, we also have decreased members available.
Seeing people that are having such a difficult time breathing, members of my own shul, who were with me just a few weeks before, learning together in shiurim, coming to shul, praying on Shabbat. And now I'm by their bedside and they can't breathe. They can't share the words of pain. Whatever the symptoms may have been, we found ourselves in a place that we have the training, and we have the top of the line equipment, and we have the greatest support system in Queens Hatzalah with the coordinators and the members. We have the unity, we have the camaraderie, we have everything we need. But the one thing that we don't have is the ability to heal this person.
And we did the best we could, and I believe we did a very good job. And I'm proud of ourselves, of the members, of all the members in Hatzalah, and I'm proud to be a member and a family of, we're called a family. Every single one of these members deserves a huge shikayach for what they did and doing, and I'm sure going to continue to do. And I'm proud to be in this Hatzalah family.
We have been there for you, we are there for you, and we will always be there for you. Because that's what Hatzalah members do, and that's what we do.